You know how guys say, like, oh, I just want peace. I want a woman to be my peace. I want to let you know that's a complete lie, a complete myth. And the men that are saying this, the men that are usually saying, I just want a woman to be my peace, he's saying this because he wants to be with the peace and cheat on her with the chaos. I am telling you right now, ladies, don't be his peace. Don't be chaos consistently, because we are wired as humans for reliability and unpredictability. We want both in our lives. Why? Because we're not dead. We don't live in a we're not living in coffins. A man who wants peace is saying he wants a woman on her deathbed. He doesn't want that. He wants a woman who is peaceful, probably 75% of the time, 80% of the time, 20% of the time. Do your fucking worst. Be funny, be unpredictable, be crazy, be kind of mean. But trust me, that's a lie. That's a lie.
You could just be funny. Be funny is fine. Right? You don't have to be chaotic and be all these other negative things and be whatever you deem to be anti-peace. I think sometimes you have to just ask men what they want, and then you kind of have to just believe them and what they say, rather than you think you're being peaceful and you think this is what you're doing with this man, and you get a different outcome, and then you extrapolate that to all men. It really, you have to start thinking about, I mean, I believe you should start thinking about men in a more nuanced sort of fashion, the same way you think not all women are the same, and you could say not all people are the same. You have to realize not all men are the same. But when men are saying they want and they value peace, and I think there's a very big distinction when men are saying to women, be my peace. I think peace is a thing that you fight for daily. I don't think peace comes from someone else. I think you nurture and you cultivate your own peace, and then you can bring someone into that environment and see how that sort of meshes and gels. If it doesn't, then you and that person, even if they're peaceful, you guys can't really have harmony together. Then that's not the person that you should probably spend the most time with. But when people, when the point of this, when men say that they want someone that's peaceful, they want a woman that's peaceful, you should just believe they mean peaceful, not this subtext, not this other thing. Just kind of believe what he's saying. And I know that that comes across as sometimes difficult to do, because you you have, I think sometimes we see on these videos women have a hard time understanding or looking at life through the lens of a man, or just sort of pausing their own experience and thought process and saying, well, this is what a man just said he wants, rather than sort of filtering that through how you think and then determining, no, this is what he means by when he says that, this is actually what he means. This is actually what he's desiring. Sometimes you can even go a step further and looking at his actions and then trying to work something back and saying, well, he never really wanted peace because he cheated on me with someone that was chaotic. I think this is one of those times when you look at that man and you say, that's what he did. That doesn't mean the next man that says the same thing is going to do the same thing to you. It's That's really never how it works. That's when we're very individualistic as humans. You did that and you look like my ex. So does that mean you're going to do the same things, or you have the same name, the same tendencies, the same thought patterns? That's not how it works at all. Before, let me get off my soapbox real quick before I stand back on it. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss new uploads. And back on the soapbox.
You know how guys say, like, oh, I just want peace. I want a woman to be my peace. I want to let you know that's a complete lie, a complete myth. And the men that are saying this, the men that are usually saying, I just want a woman to be my peace, he's saying this because he wants to be with the peace and cheat on her with the chaos.
So again, like we were just saying, the man is saying, I want my woman to be my peace. I think that's a misnomer. That's an incorrect thing that men should go back and say, I need to find my own peace. And this is sometimes what happens after years of you being in a relationship, years of you chasing women, and maybe years of you being in an unproductive, unsuccessful marriage. I've read comments of interacted with guys on the channel who said, yeah, I did that. Now I'm waiting for my kids to be of age, but my life is peaceful. And they have no sort of desire looking to for a woman for that peace. They've cultivated their own. So there's a big difference between saying that I want her to be my peace versus saying I want to bring someone into my own peace. again, that peace that you strive for daily, that you've cultivated around you, your life, how you move, that is what sort of forms that peace. And when we say peace, we don't mean like the absence of strife, absence of conflict, but this is my safe haven, the place I can go to actually recharge. If you're with a woman who's purposely saying, well, I know he doesn't want peace, so I should be chaotic. Men that are strictly saying that's what they're looking for, you'll never really get a chance to really know them if that's the MO you're going with. If you're trying to be chaotic and he's saying the number one thing that he values is peace, you'll never get that close enough to realize what he's saying is really the truth. You guys will just stop interacting. So when your subset or your sample size is a very small thing, and all our sample sizes are small, right? Let's be real. No one has experience of seriously, intimately dating a large enough sample of people to be experts on any of this. No one does. Experts are people in this. In the dating experts is someone that you probably the only way you can do that is by looking at data, right? Even if you have a small-ish group of clientele, it's still not statistically significant in terms of any type of actual review board. And now I'm getting into the science and data collection, and that's not what we're here for. That's not what we're here for. It's about when men say that there's something that they're specifically looking for. If a man is saying he's looking for peace, right, then that's what he is. That believe him, right? If his actions show otherwise, believe that, right? But I think when men, you have to take this one on the chin when you say that you want her to be your peace, that is it's not a fallacy because it happens, but that is the worst thing you should be doing. You could be doing. You're putting that onus onto her and it's her responsibility. You make her responsible for your state of being, your harmonious nature, how you interact with the world. That is a lot of pressure to put on anyone. And we balk at it when women do it to us, right? You say, I'm not responsible for your happiness. Well, you asking a woman to be your peace, she's not responsible for your peace. So we need to first cultivate a peaceful life. And if that takes you years to do, that takes you years to do. That's fine. Right. But that has to be the step. That has to be the very first step. You cultivate your own peace and then introduce someone into that.
I'm telling you right now, ladies, don't be his peace. Don't be chaos consistently, because we are wired as humans for reliability and unpredictability. We want both in our lives. Why? Because we're not dead. We don't live in a we're not living in coffins. A man who
I'm not really sure about being wired for unpredictability, but definitely we are pattern recognition, recognized individuals. We see those things and we derive comfort from them. If you want to live a chaotic life, then fine, find a chaotic partner, right? Or find a stable person that really values that chaos, but then you don't get your fix of what you need. Again, point is, if a man is telling you what he needs, the best thing I think to do is to sort of listen to what he's saying rather than believing that you understand a man's nature more than he does, or specifically that man. When we make these large blanket statements about, this is what men really mean, or men don't mean that, or there's a foul, this is wrong, this is a myth. I think it reveals more about us than it does about what we're actually talking about. So if you don't want peace, right, and you say you want peace, shame on you, man. Right? Shame on you. And I think it's one of those buzzwords that men know this is the thing to say, or this isn't the thing that we're talking about today. This is the popular thing to say. But I don't have a peaceful life at all. If my life is chaotic, what am I talking about peace for? But if that's actually true, and I think as men get older, we see the value in that, and we strive for that, and that becomes the most important thing to us, and we see how the rest of our life gets ordered and softer and less stressful. It's not to say that we don't want challenges, but we want the challenges from external things, right? I'm challenging myself to do this, to do that, to read, to go to the gym, to find a new hobby, to excel in something. I don't want that fight, or I don't want a partner that's unpredictable. It's Wednesday and she decided today she's going to flip out, or she's going to pick a fight because we haven't had a fight in a while, and that's what she thinks I desire. That's what she thinks I need. In reality, when you meet people like this, it's simple. You know, you wish them best. You wish them the best, and you say, "All right, good luck, best of luck," and you keep going. I think when you have a more of a peaceful standing or peaceful presence, you're fine withdrawing your attention when it's not really warranted. You know, let me know what you think. You know, if you see any videos on your screen, hit those. Let me know what you think about those as well. I'll see you guys in the next one.